Hello traders, this is Rich from tradesight. This is a look at our proprietary equity scans for the coming session. This is going to be for Thursday, May 23rd, 2013. Got a very aggressive downside day going here, and it's actually an outside day down at range high on the Nasdaq side of the market. Looking at the Nasdaq leadership here, we've got a lot of downside CPS signals here, a lot of weakness, a couple of volume bumps. But definitely a lot of VWAP deviations. The VWAP deviations are kind of indicative of the late day selling that's kind of just keeping things at their low, taking whatever prices the sellers can get for them right now. We definitely have a pretty aggressive downside session going here today so far. We've got deviations in Baidu, Altera, EA, First Solar, SanDisk, Netflix, and Sina. We have all these CPS signals. We also have a couple of camouflage signals, Biogen and Apple, and they should be noted as well. That means they're up on the day but below the day's open, also satisfying another condition. So definitely a pretty aggressive downside day here. The financials are a little bit less decisive as far as the signals go than the rest of them, but the one thing with the financials is there's a lot of volume. American Express has a volume bump, Bank of America, Citigroup, etc., etc. There's just a lot of volume happening here, and it's really pretty aggressively to the downside. A lot of these major financial names are almost 2% below the day's VWAP, so they're just selling them very aggressively here into the close. Looking at the energy names, we're also to the downside here. A couple of them have volume bumps. ExxonMobil and CHK both have volume bumps. CHK has a downside indication for tomorrow. As far as the generals go, the generals kind of look a little bit like the Nasdaq side. We do some volume bumps and plenty of sell signals here. Pfizer downside signal and a volume bump. Got a volume bump in Johnny John and HBQ, but no signal there. We do have a downside signal in GE, and that one does have a volume bump. Best Buy is the one that's sticking out kind of on its own here. That one's got an upside differential buy signal. Looking at the housing names, the housing names are really weak, and they're taking some profits here. Got a number of CPS signals and also camouflage signals. And note the volume here. There's a lot of volume. Toll Brothers had news today, and that's very aggressive to the downside after trying higher prices. Norfolk Southern's also got a volume bump here, NSC, and it's 2.5% below the day's open. Federal Express, a lot of these transport names are having pretty tough sessions. As far as the commodities go, the commodities are a little bit more of a mixed bag. Some of the precious metals type names are trading better. Silver, wheaton's 0.5% above the day's open. So these precious metals names are things that might kind of see some rotation if we follow through to the downside in equities. So I don't think downside in equities would be negative for the precious metal miners and whatnot. And in fact, it actually may wind up being a very positive catalyst. So keep your eyes open for those long tomorrow if you prefer to trade the long side than the short side. As always, thanks for listening. This has been Rich for tradesight.